Hi Taurus, welcome to the channel. Doing some elemental clearing today. Aries season, sorry I just did the Aries reading. Leo season coming to a close. It's on fire. It's interesting how that shows up on the camera. It's pretty. Always be very careful with fire. Leo season coming to a close. Purified the water today, some air energy. My fake plant here, but I love it, and it's sometimes hard to take care of plants. I only have 2 plants in the house that I do my best to take care of, but I like to have some fake plants too because I don't think I could keep up with all of them. Taurus, the neck, the throat, the vocal cords, the silent one. Taurus, the fixed earth. Second sign. Earth season coming up here soon with Virgo season. People are putting in work. The same placement here for the advice as there was for Aries, and I do think there's a blending of sort of sign energy. That's interesting. In your present energy, Taurus, the 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. So maybe feeling like you don't necessarily want to be collaborating in some sort of, you don't want to be, or you are not currently collaborating in some sort of like a work environment on a new project with other people, taking time to sort of do your own thing, to work independently and not necessarily be working with others at this time. A challenge right now is the Emperor card in the reverse, so the Aries reading was just before this one. So the Emperor energy can sort of be like feeling of being controlled, being controlling, and so maybe taking this time to work a little bit more independently because like you don't want to feel like controlled and restricted and constricted by circumstances surrounding you, and so you're just taking this time to do your own thing because that's what feels like it is meaningful for you at this time. I don't think anyone likes to feel controlled. In the recent past, the 5 of Swords in the reverse also came up in the Aries reading, really working to put down those swords. So this person like has their swords, they're happy about it, they won the battle, but these people are leaving this person alone because they hurt them. And so this is about kind of like expressing yourself, like sword energy is the air, so expressing yourself, communicating, thinking, but sometimes the way that we communicate, and we're trying to like share a truth, but if that is not a truth that is shared with love or compassion, or it's not an adaptive energy, then we're going to just lose people, and then we're there all alone. And sure, you were like right maybe about the thing that you were sharing, but now you have ended up in this energy where you've caused pain in trying to share what you thought truth was. And so if pain comes from a situation, then maybe that truth that we thought was true wasn't necessarily fully true. And so this is just working to like put down the sword sometimes, and to not engage in conflict and fighting and the way that you communicate and express your ideas. And so that can be a very healing energy to work into a new way of communicating, so that it's not such like a brash energy. And so taking that, wanting to put down the swords, not just fight with your words for its own sake, and also moving into like this period of just like, okay, well, if I'm not going to do that, maybe I should just take some time alone to do my own thing, because maybe sometimes the way that you are fighting, it's because you're not in the space that you naturally want to be in, and so maybe you just need to take some time to like work on things by yourself, and that can be like a very reasonable way to deal with that energy, and just like rework things on your own time and on your own terms, instead of always having to be collaborating and stuff with other people if that's not feeling like that's what's meaningful for you in this moment. And in the near future, the Queen of Swords in the reverse, this card was in the upright in the same placement for the Aries reading before this. But the Queen of Swords can be like a little bit cutting. So like maybe you're just like, a lot of sword energy here, especially in the reverse. So maybe reworking the ways that you communicate. So maybe the sword energy is because the Virgo season is coming up. Virgo season is ruled by Mercury, the details of Mercury. And the Queen of Swords can be a search for inner clarity that's sort of more like King of Swords, but the Queen of Swords can sort of be just like cutting with the way that divine feminine communicates. So you're working to like release the sword energy, working by yourself, or working more independently, and in the near future, maybe realizing or still going through this energy of being a little bit seeking the inner feminine clarity on the way that you express your ideas, the way that you communicate, but also maybe sort of feeling like a little bit, I don't like to use swear words on the channel, just in case for some people I don't mind swear words, but sort of being a little bit bitchy, and cutting instead of productive with the way that you communicate. So maybe this is just the energy that you need to be in this moment to sort of like rework things, is you just want to communicate the way you want to communicate, and however that comes out is how it's going to come out, and that's just the energy you're feeling in this moment. In the conscious energy of the Seven of Swords in the reverse, so more sword energy, consciously feeling like there might be some sort of sense of either releasing a sense of being deceived or deceiving others, or experiencing a sense of self-deception. So maybe there is something that you have been engaging, a way that you communicate, or really anything in your life, and that is feeling like you are not necessarily living like your ultimate truth. So either releasing a sense of betrayal or feeling like an inner sense of betrayal. It can really mean either one here. And then in the subconscious energy is the Ten of Cups in the reverse. So the Ten of Cups in the reverse is really feeling like disappointed about something. So there's definitely like some stress in this read. So I'm sorry if you're going through stressful feelings right now, Taurus. But in your subconscious energy, you're feeling like you haven't really reached this pinnacle of abundance, of creativity, or family life, or relationships, and feeling just like a little disappointed about not necessarily feeling this joy of these happy people who are looking at their Ten of Cups, the kids playing nearby, they're just happy about the rainbow. It looks like you're feeling like a little bit stressed out, and like you're not necessarily in your relational or creative abundance at this moment, and so that's what you're experiencing subconsciously. Same placement for Aries, the Eight of, I think I might have called it Seven of Pentacles in the last one, but Seven and Eight of Pentacles can have a little bit of a similar energy, but this is the Eight of Pentacles, Taurus energy with the Earth. The advice is really to keep working, so keep developing your skills, keep working on your career, working on, tinkering with your finances, and that's a way to, ground down in a sense of stability, especially when you're sort of maybe feeling more stressful, some of a stressful energy with what you're working on in your present moments. And so, just getting things really practical. Taurus is good at that, being really practical about the way that you move forward, and that is a tremendous strength of the earth signs and for Taurus. And keep tinkering at the way that you accumulate your money and at your career, and that can be a nice way to deal with this energy, so that you don't get kind of stuck in a maladaptive way of feeling or thinking about it. Another eight of swords in energy surrounding you. So realizing, feeling like you're trapped in a situation and not realizing that you can get out of it and that you do have control over that situation. This person is standing in the puddles, tied, but not really, tightly bound, with a blindfold, but again, looks like, when that handkerchief might be easily taken off, standing and not realizing that they can step out of this puddle onto the earth. Right now is the Scorpio moon, the water, step out onto the earth, Taurus season, step out of the feelings of things and moving on to like the practical side, onto the land, and realizing they can get out of these swords. They can take off, the binding, they can take a sword out of the ground and step out. And so realizing the energy surrounding you is that you feel stuck, but you're not necessarily realizing that you can get out of that stuck feeling that you are in at this moment. A fear, hopes and fears placement is the Four of Cups. So this can just sort of be about apathy, or just like apathy or reflection, being offered a cup of love and creativity from the divine hand, but just like sitting with arms crossed, not really open to it, just being like, okay, yeah, here's some cups, but I'm not really going to take that cup from you right now. And so like, so yeah, maybe like a fear, or like another challenging energy is just being handed the Scorpio moon, the water, being handed an opportunity for love and creativity, but just not wanting to take that right now. Like you're dealing with other stuff, you're feeling a little bit stressed out about things, and you're just sort of feeling like apathetic about like whether like to take that cup. It's just like not what you're feeling in this current moment. And the outcome of this energy is the 10 of Wands in the reverse. So as we get to the end of Leo season, the fire, this is about really feeling like kind of overwhelmed, and like there does seem to be like a little bit of overwhelm, a little bit of stress to this reading. So you're coming to the end of a journey, but you are feeling like overwhelmed by that process. You're feeling like the 10 of these 10 rods are really difficult to carry up the hill, and just feeling like really overwhelmed by the processing of whatever it is that you're working on right now. You're feeling the heaviness of the 10 of Wands. You're getting to the end. You're getting to the top of the hill for sure. Like you're moving into a new cycle, but you're feeling like this is heavy. This is heavy. I'm not necessarily feeling like any sort of major, beautiful life lessons about this right now. Things just sort of feel a little bit heavy. Yeah, so I'm sorry you're feeling a little bit stressed about this stuff right now, Taurus. But it's okay to take time, like, for yourself. Like, if you're not feeling like you're in, like, a highly positive mojo, like, that's not what every aspect of life is about. And if you're feeling like somehow the only major arcana card here is, the Emperor, and that is what your challenge is. So, like, the day-to-day stuff is happening for you for the most part, but, like, your challenge is, like, the sense of, like, feeling controlled around, like, something that's going on. It could be a relationship, but it could be, like, work, controlling yourself, but, like, feeling controlled by maybe an external force, and, like, some of this is not even fully within your control. Like, it's just, like, you have to just keep it moving. That's where your advice is to just, keep developing those skills, keep doing your work, keep doing the practical side of your life to, like, move on to the next phase of this. And in that time, there will be some of this other stress and these other realizations, and to just kind of, to keep it moving even in those times when things are feeling a little bit more stressful. And you are doing healing. You are healing, but, like, it's not just always a steady trajectory, like, upwards. Like, life comes in waves. It's not just like, okay, like, everything gets better, or just everything gets worse. It's neither of those. It's up and down, and the magnitudes of the waves and, the frequency with which they change. Like, that's just what life is. And it's important to remember that. Because no matter how you feel now, you're not always going to feel that way, whether it's a positive or a negative feeling. Bouquet, compliments from an admirer. Bouquet, Taurus, the garden. Part of the garden, tends the garden. Older woman, dealing with a relationship with an older woman. So maybe this has to do with you or someone near you, someone who might be coming in to help you deal with something like this, something that is causing a challenge. So something about dealing with an older woman. Wind chimes, peace and harmony. And the Taurus always does have, like, as the Hierophant, always really does have a sense of peace surrounding them. It's not like this exciting, harmonious peace at every moment, but, like, people usually feel, like, very peaceful around a Taurus because they keep it moving. They're the fixed earth. They give us a stability of grounding, and that's so important. Otherwise, we can't do anything else. You have to have your root solid before you can do others. And just peace and harmony will, can still surround you even when you're not feeling like this is the best day of your life. You can still have peace and harmony on that journey. And Lobster, financial pinch. So maybe just not necessarily feeling like you have the resources that you want at this time, which would be something that would be stressful for Taurus, because they like to, have control over their money, because money it doesn't buy us happiness, but like you do need a certain amount of stability so that you can get things you want with your money. So maybe you're just not feeling like you have the money you want at this time, but you are admired. Tauruses are mostly always admired, even if maybe not always liked, because they don't give people like the excitement or something that they want. Like people are all for like quick hits of stuff, but like they are loved and admired. So that bouquet is lovely. And then a sense of peace and harmony will be still surrounding you on this journey, even when you're not feeling just that excitement and positivity about everything. You can get some color cards for Taurus. Nice to see like what colors come out here. And so first you got protection. So I think that's an important message that popped out. You're protected. Reflection, space, and ghost. So let's do protection first. The essence of this card is about feeling personally safe and protected as you navigate through life. It asks you to find the delicate balance of pushing yourself through fearful, anxious situations while also feeling secure. This card asks how you can feel protected during those scary situations. Does it mean reaching out to others or just making sure that you are grounded in the present? How can you move forward while feeling safe? So that's a good thing to be thinking about right now. You want to move forward, but you also want to make sure that you are grounded there with the fixed earth of Taurus. So like how can you stay grounded? Maybe, by just continuing to put in the work day to day. In addiction medicine, we really do say like, I'm going to think about only today, and if I can't think about only today, it's just the next couple of hours, just the next hour, just the next minute. So just continuing to put in like this practical work to get you onto that next stage. Our spirituality happens in our everyday. So how can you feel protected and grounded so that you can then move on from there? Got to start with the basics. And that's not going backwards. That's just like we always need to rework our basics as we develop new experiences in life over time. And then reflection. Some say that certain people or situations in your life act as mirrors that reflect back at you and teach you. What that mirror reveals can act as a source of inspiration, encouraging you to move forward. You may not like what you see, giving you the opportunity to make some important changes in your life. This card is a reminder of the importance of taking time to reflect and partake in some deep self-inquiry. What are the mirrors in your life trying to show you, and what can you learn from them? So maybe this feeling of like this, feeling like a sense of self-deception, working to like put down these swords, and like you don't really want to like collaborate at this time, like you're doing your own thing. This can be like, now is just like a time for reflection more than, making like big moves. And like that sense of reflection can be like, feel very overwhelming here. And you're not necessarily always going to be like communicating at your like, at your highest vibe, when you're in that space. And it's not necessarily your job to like be communicating with people in, any kind of way at any moment. Like you are going through what you are going through at the time. And that's just what it is. And so right now is like a nice time of space for reflection, especially, going back to the basics. How can you feel protected and stable so that you can then move on from there? In space. You may feel alone, like you can get lost here, but it is important to remember that you can fill this space. What is it that you are looking to fill your life with? Is it certain types of people, a new project? How can you take action toward your goal? The void is only a temporary space, and it's ready to be filled. So when there is emptiness, there is space for grace. And so this is, you can reflect on this space so that you can figure out what do you want to put in there. Ghost. When this card comes up in a reading, it may be because a ghost from your past has been paying you a visit. Your ghost may be something unresolved or repressed, or a person or situation from your past. Pay attention to what is coming up emotionally during this time. What do you think this ghost is coming to you? Why do you think this ghost is coming to you now? What is it here to teach you? So maybe you are, dealing with some sort of ghost, and that's why you're feeling like you're in a little bit more of a stressful energy at this current moment. Chiron, the wounded healer, just went into retrograde about a month ago, mid-July, and will stay there until mid-December. So there's really a big amount of collective healing going on for people in general. So not surprised to see like a little bit of stress in this reading. And maybe you are working with your own ghosts. This sense of self-deception. You're trying to release a sense of betrayal or deception from the past. You're dealing with your own ghosts, and you need space to do that. So ghosts in space, like this meets up for me. And there's it's helpful to have that emptiness sometimes, so that then you can think about reflecting and going back to the basics, or to going back to the basics so that you can get onto that new part of your journey. We're never starting over like completely from scratch. But in certain senses, in certain ways that we think or communicate or love or, whatever, we can't. We'll need to like go back and revisit the basics in certain areas of our life really continually. And so this is just a reminder that it's okay to just feel the sense of space and like maybe invisibility or need to reflect. I'm not saying like a lot of like flagrant joy here, but Taurus is the Hierophant, the priest, and deals with like spiritual institutions. And our body and our mind our life is a dwelling. And so to allow the exploration of that space and of those ghosts, allowing that reflective period can actually be like some of the most abundant times of our lives, because that is when we're learning. Believe in the impossible, blue moon. So Taurus is the neck. It's I've seen something else that said that the throat chakra was actually Virgo, which I thought was interesting, which I don't really feel like makes sense to me, so maybe it was just like a random thing I Googled. But the throat chakra is blue, and Taurus is the neck and the throat and the vocal cords and the voice, and also the decision to not use that voice and to just be silent and sit within that exploration, the silence. Taurus is the silent one, the space and the ghost, allowing that reflection, believing in the impossible. And I like when the cards that come up meet the colors of the color prism card, so he's matching. So believe in the impossible. So I don't know what that could mean for you in this moment, but like, it's not really true that anything fully is impossible. And certain things are somewhat impossible, of course, but believe that there is an ability to fill up this space. And this is beautiful. I didn't realize, I don't think I've gotten this card before. This is actually the front of the Moonology book, and Taurus is where the moon is in exaltation. So believe that that something can come from this space, that it's not just emptiness. It's not just emptiness. It's not just ghosts. Yet, as if you're not protected, as if you're not allowed to take this time to just reflect. And this, Three of Pentacles in the reverse in your present energy is just taking the time to reflect and not necessarily collaborate with other people and to do your own thing. That's important. So believe that you can fill that space. I don't know how, but believe that you can fill it. Believe in the impossible. Not everything is all full practicality. The cosmic heart, Leo season, the heart, the spine, courage, which could be helpful for you to have in this moment. Cosmic heart, I was dead, I became alive. I was tears, I became laughter. The power of love arrived and made me everlasting power. I've seen everything. I have no fear. I have the heart of a lion. I shine like Venus. Taurus is Venus, along with Libra, but Taurus is Venus. I hear it and weep. In sublime reverence, I bow to this living, beating, loving heart of the universe. It echoes throughout all of creation. Once, some time ago, I was deaf. I had not heard one true sound, much noise but no truth, so I believed in many things not worth believing in. Then, in a moment of my crisis that cracked my heart open, I was given a gift. Though I felt fear and confusion, a gift came to me more powerful than those temporary ailments. That gift was the ability to hear the sound hidden beneath all of life, the sound, the voice, Taurus. I heard it, that sacred sound of the beating heart of universal love. Now I know that belief in unworthy things like fear and doubt is lunacy. Even my loneliness became unconvincing to me. We are animated by this living heartbeat, part of life that is sustained by it. You and I, the planets, the birds, and the fishes, emerge from the great source because of this beating heart of the universe. It pumps life through our veins. What proof of this is needed? You live. That is the proof. I hear it everywhere now. It has become so loud, louder than any word of fear. It resonates through my soul and eclipses any tremor of anxiety. Just like the divine is real. It just is. I used to not believe that. I think people put their thoughts about what it is on it, and like really it's ineffable, like what it is. So we can't say what the apophatic tradition is, that we can't say what the God energy is, only what it is not. But divinity is real. And so if the journey right now is the space and the ghosts, then that's the journey right now. And the sound, the senses, Taurus, you hear it louder than ever, like that the divine is real. Doesn't mean we're going to be able to describe what that means or, sway it entirely how we want to at every moment, but the divine is real, and you are in the heart of the divine. You are the heart of the divine. You project the heart of the divine. And so just taking that time to think about your space and your ghosts and to reflect is absolutely what you're meant to be doing in this moment. Thanks for joining, Taurus.